First, my name is Kenneth Burt. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. Today, we're going to be discussing about why we're not going to go into a long discussion. So we're going to try to keep the videos a little shorter today. We're going to be discussing why you do not have to spend thousands of dollars for an ultra short throw projector. Now, usually ultra short throw projectors are quite expensive and they will cost you a lot of money. Customers we run into really don't want to spend that kind of money at the end of the day. If they have to, some if they have to, they will, and others they just don't want to. They want to have that ultra short throw experience, but they do not want to spend all that money. Yes, they are quite expensive. I've had quite a few of them. So the cheapest ones, the more affordable ones, the best ones we've used are the NECs. We like those. We love the NECs. We have an NEC projector we get over on eBay. I bought about 5 of these units. I got quite a few of them. We got one in the kitchen running right now, and here one on the floor, and we got another one upstairs running, and altogether that cost me nowhere near $1,000. Nowhere near $1,000. As a matter of fact, all the projectors we have in here right now, we haven't even paid anywhere near $1,000 for our setups. So demonstrations I'm used to seeing on eBay, sorry about that, on YouTube are demonstrations of these ultra short throw projectors, again, that have quite a very short distance, but they're in these extremely dark environments. Well, that's basically on the screen right there, not the projector. The projector shouldn't be having that issue, especially for the caliber projector that's being used. Let me turn my fan off. There we go. At least you can hear me over the fan. All right, so as I said before, customers really don't want to go in and spend that kind of money. And on top of that, a lot of the customers we talk to do not want to calibrate. Now, again, when someone advises you to calibrate a projector, it's due to the fact that the screen is having a very difficult time bringing up color and contrast, and the colors are just not right, and that's the reason why it has to be calibrated. This is why I don't approve of people using calibrated projectors in their demonstrations, because it's not a fair demonstration due to the fact that the customer who may not want to calibrate his projector will not get the same results as the calibrated projector being presented in the video. We're going to talk about that in the next demonstration, because we have an individual, like I said, we're not bringing them up in our videos, but who basically claims we're using special abilities to make our screen look a certain way, which we find interesting that there are some things that have surfaced showing that, yeah, ambient light controlled environments, high powered projectors, and on top of that, calibrated projectors, which again, I disapprove of in demonstrations. Now, how are you saving thousands of dollars? Well, they got the WeMax projector, Valva projector, and there's another projector, I can't pronounce the name of it, but we have it listed on the website. Those 3 projectors promise you a 150-inch screen, and they promise you 5,000 lumens, 4K, which isn't exactly true. Those particular projectors do something called pixel shifting, and pixel shifting basically compresses the image. It's better used on a much, for us, it would be smaller screen of a 100-inch to give you a more compressed, compact image. On top of that, with a 100-inch, that's less of a chance the screen's going to really take in any ambient light. And then on top of that, with the projector sitting so close, the distance throw isn't going to be there. So that's one thing. We're going to be talking about ultra short throw cheats. Yeah, there's ultra short throw cheats. We see them every day. But anyway, so when we talk to customers, they want the 150-inch screen, they want the 120, they want the 135. They want something bigger than 100 inches. I remember at one point a 100-inch screen was more than enough. Now a 100-inch screen isn't more than enough, so you have to have something bigger. But that's what they want. They want what these particular projectors tell you that you're going to be able to achieve. Now, we have here on my screen size a 150-inch screen. This is the size of my screen. And as you can see, we're in a fully lit environment. Our screen's not washed out, it's not faded, it has no discoloration of any gray or tannish look to the screen, no fading around the corners, and we are in a fully lit environment on a $60 projector that I purchased off of eBay. Now, if you are buying a projector solely for the fact that you want to get a 150-inch screen, you do not have to spend $3,300 or $4,100 for that projector. You could do that with any projector. We'll give you a screen size of a larger size recommended for that projector, or a larger size than 150 inches. We had an Optima GT 55 and 56, both projectors. We did 140 inch outside. Inside we did 126. That projector is recommended for 100 inches only. The reason why is because they said the screen deteriorates. The screen deteriorates regardless, because if you're using a gray or white screen, this is going to cause the image to deteriorate. This is why all the demonstrations, when we go looking for them on YouTube, these demonstrations are all done in poorly lit environments and do not match our demonstrations, because the problem is not the projector, it's the screen. Now, the 150 inch screen we have here, this is why people, when I talk to customers, they go out and they spend this $3,100, $3,000, $4,100 for the WeMax Valva projectors, because they promise you a 150 inch screen, but I do not see enough 150 inch screens on display for these projectors. Again, pixel shifting technology plays a huge role on why you're going to have issues of trying to project this thing on 150 inches. I had a customer send me pictures on his Valva projector. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Valva? Whatever you call yourself, are you kidding me? That's what your projectors really actually look like? My goodness. Now, like I said, I mean, at least that kind of power, you should at least have something come up on the screen. Something should come up on the screen. Mind you, I've had conversations with Valva before. I can show you a phone shot where I've actually talked to one of their CEOs in a forum site where basically they just couldn't give me the proper information on the correct pixel count or resolution count for the projector, instead of going to the website and it's simply just saying 4K. Where's the? But that's another talk for another day. I'll show you those pictures. We're sending over something to help them out. I told you we can engineer technology to help those particular projectors, not the rest of them, but those particular models. But yeah, we got something we're helping them out with, because man, it's bad. It's bad. But as I said before, you are going to spend thousands of dollars for a projector that you are going to be sitting in the dark. You think I'm joking? Do the research. Go on YouTube. Try to find one demonstration that matches this demonstration right now. You won't find one. Not even at the screen size, you won't find one. You'll see every single one of them will sit in a poorly lit environment, and the projectors will be multiple times what I paid for my projector. My projector on the floor cost me $60. That's it. That's what we try to explain to people, that it's not, there's two ways. It goes two different ways on this one. The reason why these expensive models are sitting in the dark, because the screen plays a part too. So it goes two different ways. You are going to spend money for a very high and expensive projector just to be trapped in a dark environment, because if you turn your lights on your screen, it's going to wash out. Even at 3,000 lumens, people figure I'm going to be sitting right up on top of the screen. I'm going to be able to pick up an image. 3,000 lumens has nothing to do with your image at one point, because you can have so much light reflected off a screen, you can whitewash your own screen with your own projector, because you're producing that much light. Our projectors are 3,600 lumens. These are the highest lumen projectors I've seen so far in ultra short throws, and we don't wash out jack. Our technology is designed to absorb all the light in the environment. As you can see overhead how tall our screen is. Our screen is a couple of inches from the ceiling, which means the ceiling light has direct contact with the screen. So it goes two different ways. If you go out and you spend the money for an expensive projector, you're only going to get 50% if you're lucky. You're definitely going to turn your living room into a cave or a medieval dungeon. It's definitely going to happen. I've not seen demonstrations yet done like this. This is how ultra short those are supposed to work. If you go to Val has these promo commercials, and in the promo commercials they talk about replacing the TV. That's in their promo commercials. Replacing the TV with a projector. Get something that's going to be cheaper than a TV, that you can have that movie theater experience and a fully lit environment. That's the whole purpose of the ultra short throw, to give you that TV-like experience, but to be able to use it in a fully lit environment. What's the point of having that experience if all the demonstrations we're seeing, these projectors are actually sitting in the dark like they're long throw projectors? You just spent all that money for a projector just to sit in the dark. Could have did the same thing with a long throw. Could have achieved the exact same thing. So It's kind of like, it's sad because it's kind of double-sided here. Without the screen, the projector is worthless. With And then you turn around and you spend the money for these other projectors. Like I said, two sides. Other projectors that claim to give you a 150-inch screen, which you will never be able to achieve because the projector doesn't have an actual native 4K. The only projectors that had the capability of 150 inches that could pick up crystal clear from corner to corner without pixel shifting technology involved were Dells. And these projectors were $6,000 when they came out. They were very expensive. An ultra short throw projector with a native 4K laser at an actual 5,000 lumens is a $6,000 to $7,000 projector. They're not cheap. They're extremely expensive. They have them. They're very expensive. So when I saw the Valve come up and I seen these different projectors, and I'm looking at this projector, I'm thinking, there's no way in the world this thing is 5,000 lumens. You're sitting that close to the screen. There should be light ricocheting everywhere in the environment. So they lie on the lumen count. They lie on the ability for the projector to produce a maximum of 150 inches because you can't compress and basically expand at the same time. It's not going to work. When they showcase the projector, it's always on 100-inch, maybe 120, but mostly on 100-inch because that's where they're going to get the tightest pixelations. They're going to be able to pick up a sharper and brighter image and still in a ambient light controlled environment. Because again, the screen plays a huge part also too because the projector can have 6,000, could have 7,000 lumens, could have 8K, whatever it may have. But if the screen can't pick it up, the screen can't pick it up. That's all to it. You're going to have a screen that's going to come up washed out. This is where ambient light controlled environments come in because now we can darken the environment to make it look like it's not too dark, but it is somewhat dark. But you all know that the living room, an everyday living room doesn't look like that. Dedicated theater room? Yeah. Everyday living room? No. So there's another issue right there. Whew, man, when you talk about it out loud, boy, it's pretty messed up when you think about it. It is pretty messed up. So at the end of the day, we have a technology that we can come on here and say, look, 720p projector, our projector costs around $60. You can go on eBay, you can get this projector for under $250. If you happen to have a 4K projector in your possession, if you happen to have a 1080p in your projector, then you can get a 100% out of your projector and you can maximize it at 150. You can do 160. We've got 160 out of an Optima GT 56, 160-inch screen before it started to deteriorate around the edges. So your projector, your Optima, your Epson, or whatever you may have, can do 150 inches, regardless of what it says in the specifications. It says that in the specifications because when they showcase that projector, when they're showing it off, they want the sharpest, brightest picture possible. And to keep it at a certain screen size, this is what they're going to achieve. At 100 inches on a show booth, this thing's not going to get hit with a lot of light because the screen's not that big. Now imagine going to a show booth and you see a massive 150-inch screen surrounded in all this light. That's quite impressive because you're usually not used to seeing that. Yeah, it's a double-sided sword. So those people I see with the more expensive, more advanced projectors, these are the people that are in the dark with these machines. And I mean, some of them are really in the dark. Like you can't make out anything in the environment. And this is a projector that's designed to replace the TV at 3,300, at 4,000. One guy, I think for the one of the projectors, I forgot the name of it. It's not the WeMax, it's the other one. He paid $4,100 for a projector that he can't even get 150 out of it as it's designed to do. And again, he's stuck in an ambient light controlled environment because that projector, they only project them on gray and white screens. And you know what gray and white screens look like in fully lit environments. Sorry about that. It comes up pretty bad. The Bow Maker is another projector I ran into from a customer. We went to send something over to him to help him out with his screen. The Bow Maker, he had it at 150 inches. We have those pictures on the website of the Bow Maker. And he spent quite a lot of money for that machine. And he could not get that machine to pick up on a black diamond. They don't pick up on gunmetals. Just so you know, before you make that costly mistake of going out and spending $3,000 to $5,000 for a high-end screen and then find out it doesn't work too well. Have you ever seen a Valva or a WeMax or one of those projectors being projected on one of those screens? No, you don't. Not one. Research, we know. You can do the research yourself. Most likely when they do the demonstration for those projectors, or anybody doing the demonstration, it'll be on their own projection screen. Valve has their own projection screen. I thought Optimum was coming out with one. I could have swore Optimum was coming with 1,000. All right, we'll dig that up later. But anyway, as I said before, no, you don't have to spend thousands. You don't. At all, period. If you want to go out and you want to spend $250 for an ultra short throw projector, you can have an ultra short throw projector at 150 inches. Use it in a fully lit environment, as we're doing here live, as you're watching this right now on my screen of the fish moving back and forth. And you can have a setup that's better than a person who spent $3,300 or $4,100 for an ultra short throw that has to sit in the dark. On top of that, you won't have to pay for contrast because the screens are jet black. So again, you're going to pay for that contrast. They're not going to give you that for free. That's something you have to pay for. The higher the contrast on the projector, we did this demonstration already, the more expensive the projector becomes. This is why I explained to you that contrast is everything. Most important thing on an ultra short throw, it has to be able to pick up on the sides. Our screen is at 150 inches. My projector sitting on the floor. It was designed for not home theater, for offices, for schools. That's what it's designed, doctor's office. This projector is designed to do 80 inches and that's it. So we can pick up at a 190-degree viewing angle in a fully lit environment without the screen deteriorating. At $60. Do you know how much money I spend for ultra short throw projectors? If I walk on there, if I get a good day, sometimes I walk off with a lot. I can walk off with a lot for $300. That's 6 ultra short throws for $300 if I bump and I get myself a lot. That's where you get a lot is where you get a stack of projectors. Somebody sells a bulk of projectors all in one hit. I check them out from time to time. Those projectors, you usually find those in lots. The NECs, you always find NECs in lots. More than BenQ, but you find NECs a lot in lots. But anyway, like I said, some people say they're saving you thousands, saving you hundreds. They're not even saving you hundreds at that. They're not. Because you still got to turn around and you got to spend $3,300 for a machine that you can't even use in a fully lit environment, and you can't even go past 100 inches. Because you can get that 150 inch out of a P2. Yeah, you can. The problem is the screen's not going to allow you to do it. That's the problem. If we can't get a gray, white screen or certified screen to pull up in any of our environments next to our technology, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it at 150 inches? That's a lot of light hitting the screen. So man, there's so much to talk to about these things. Like I said, I see so many of these demonstrations where, again, just really, really, really poor demonstrations for a projector that's supposed to be designed for fully lit environments. Very poor. But then again, like I said, it's now only the projector's fault. It's the screen's fault. The fellow who came on and did the review on the P2. He didn't have an expensive projection screen sitting there. The P2 washed clean out. Didn't even show anything up. It didn't pop up. And I think that was an unfair review because, number one, like I said, without a good screen, a projector is pretty much worthless. The P2 is an amazing piece of machinery. The problem is what it's being displayed on is trash. That's the problem. If you look at the promo demonstration, the P2 looks absolutely flawless, gorgeous, because, again, corporation, they got the money to spend for a very high-end, expensive screen to sit up there and make the projector look amazing. Where the everyday Joe will purchase that thing, take it home and go, what the freak is this all about? And he'll go to forum sites with it, and the forum sites will tell him, oh, you got that particular projector. They're going to tell you from the door you can't use that particular screen. You're going to need a gunmetal screen or a darker screen to better enhance the contrast levels, and that's what they're going to tell you. You just spent money for a projector with a 2 million to 1 just to go in and buy a darker screen to enhance your contrast levels. How backwards is that one right there when you think about it? People don't really think about what goes on between projectors and screen companies. You went out and you bought and we can do some forum sites all the time. So let me get this straight. You paid how much for that projector, and you got it because of the contrast level. So why do you have a darker screen sitting over there, like a $3,000 Dark Star 9 or a $5,000 Black Diamond? Oh, because it brings out the contrast levels. But you just spent freaking that much money for a projector that has 2 million to 1. So what was the point of paying the money for the projector if you can't get the contrast levels to pull through without paying $3,000 to $5,000 for a projection screen? Hmm, that's something to think about, isn't it? So you bought the darker screen to bring out the better contrast, even though you have a 2 million to 1 you just paid for on your machine. That does not work on your machine unless you have a screen to allow it to be able to work. So what's the point of paying the money for that projector if your screen's already black? You would pick up a contrast level regardless if your projector was 100 to 1 contrast or 200 to 1 contrast, you would pick it up because the screen's black. Oh man, I tell you, the research we've done on companies and stuff, you just don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. You really don't know. I watch the sales pitch when they start talking. I just sit there and just start looking. That's why I like used to go to the electronic shows, and I used to sit there and watch them talk about this, that, and the other. They can't stand me. That's like having somebody who's a freaking history buff going to what do you call it when they have the historical tour guides explaining the history of the environments of what happened in this particular time era, and you get somebody in there who's a freaking history major, there's a buff, there's a professor that teaches professors, somebody who's really way up there on the ladder, and he says, no, you're wrong, you're definitely wrong, da 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 da, and next he's got the crowd on him. Then they kick people out for that. They kick him out. They will kick you out for that nonsense. I'm not saying it's not nonsense, but you know a little bit more. Yeah, either they'll hire you or get rid of you. You can't come back anymore. You're just a problem. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it comes down to. But when people don't really think about it, if they're telling you to go out and spend money for a darker gunmetal screen, and you have a 2 million to 1, you need a darker screen to enhance the 2 million to 1 you have sitting on your projector. That'd be gunmetal. Our screens are black. So what point would 2 million to 1 have anything to do with a screen that's already black? So that's an option right there. Again, you just spend, you have choice around that one. You really just don't have a choice around that one. You just literally are going to spend for that either way. And if you buy our technology, like I said, you buy our technology, you still really doesn't make a difference. You can literally turn that option off. You don't even need it on because the screen's black. Well, okay, that's another jacked up theory right there to think about. All right, so some people pay the thousands of dollars because they want the 4K experience. They want the more sharper, more brighter image. They want to be able to pick up better colors. Oh, listen to me when I'm saying this. They want to pick up better colors, a sharper, more higher resolution, but yet you sit in the dark. And all the demonstrations, I'm not talking about one individual, I'm talking about the demonstrations we've seen so far. They're sitting in the dark. Why are they sitting in the dark? Because if you turn the lights on, the screen's going to wash out. So the point of basically buying a projector for the ability to pick up higher colors and better contrast, well, that's out the window because your screen can't see it. So again, that was pretty much a waste of money right there too. So this is where it comes down to the screen again. On this side, you have to spend the money for a good screen in order to be able to pick up the image properly. And from the demonstrations we've seen from, and I hate to put this in there, the individual, you are doing it completely wrong on that ultra ortho projector. There is no way in the world that machine should be sitting in an environment that dark. Now, we're going to get on the computer later on, and we're going to talk about people hiding things in their demonstrations, what they shouldn't be doing. We have an individual who has a really bad habit of coming saying, oh, the camera settings. Buddy, boy, at the end of the day, you do so much shifting in your environment, it's not even funny. And I'm telling you why it's not even funny. We've seen everything. We've seen people with lights peppered out through the environment. Lights, we know that were never there. One demonstration they're there, and then one next demonstration they're not. So they change out the environments. We've seen cameras sitting way too close to the screen where you can't even see the environment and how it's supposed to be displayed and how it reacts. We've seen environments that are not normal, which means I found a video of a fellow who posted an environment on how it really looks. First things first is basic common sense. Basic common sense. For that apartment to be that dark, to begin with, I guarantee you, bar none, it doesn't look like that in real life. And the reason why, who in their right mind would rent an apartment and walk in and see it that dark to begin with? Like, what the freak? Why is this thing so dark? We sitting next to a bridge? No, no one. When people buy apartments or houses, they want something with plenty of light coming in. They want a nice bright environment. That's what they want. That's the selling point of a house. That's how you sell a house. Lots of light coming in, lots of window light, and they keep the environment bright. You have to be a pretty disturbed individual. Maybe you like it dark. I don't know. Maybe you're Batman at the end of the day. I don't know. To walk into an apartment or a house and it's just dark in there and you go, oh, man. Kind of make you a little bit depressed. Like, I don't want to be in here. That's why I know that there's no way in the world, in all those video demonstrations that we have seen and ones we've seen from other people, that their environments actually look like that in real life. Those environments are much brighter than that. They just look that way because they have to be in that setting due to the fact in order to get the screen to be able to produce a certain color and contrast in the environment. That's why they look that way. Ambient light controlled environments, that's what it's called. So what does the real environment look like in all that lighting? Instead of the ones we see that are basically, we call those fake demonstrations, because that's not how the environment looks. In my house, you will see the lighting that I use every single day. It's the light we turn on every day. There's no ambient, there's no adjusting lights. It's on and off, that's it. This is my everyday lighting. There's nothing extra, same thing. Same thing every single day when I get up in the morning, same display every day when I get up. But I find it interesting when we go to look at other demonstrations, the environments look completely different. They change out. They don't stay the same. And after what I've seen from that video, like I said, that picture, video of whoever got those pictures of what that place really looks like when it's lit up, yeah. That explains a lot. Anyway, let's get back to this, because that's another video on its own. We're going to be talking about the people, how they use bells and whistles, and how they basically smoke screens, how they cheat in their demonstrations, slanted blinds, all kinds of stuff. You name it, we find it, we see it. It's supposed to be clean. That's why we have it nice and clean in here. See, screen, projector, lights, that's it. That's all you need. Works out perfectly. Nothing's hidden. You know, a bunch of stuff all over the place. Anyway, so do you have to spend thousands of dollars for a projector? No, you don't have to. You're not forced to. If you want to, you can. The whole purpose of our technology is to give the customer an option. Does he have to spend the money for 4K? No, he doesn't. Does he have to spend the money for 1080p? No, he doesn't. Does he have to be stuck at a 100-inch screen on an ultra short throw? No, he doesn't. That's the whole purpose. Because without our technology, you would be stuck with this. Well, you know, if you wanted me to pick up that such and so image, you're going to spend such and so for this projector in order to pick up a darker contrast level and better color. This is exactly how they're going to sell it to you. And the best projector for this would be this projector, that projector, and so and so and so. And if you have a little bit more and you want to spend a little more, you can go with this particular model screen. This is going to cost you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Keep in mind you're using an ultra short throw certified screen. They cost more than the actual certified screen. There's no way in the world that a company's going to come out and charge you $3,000 for a screen that's not ultra short throw, and then charge you $3,000 for a screen that is ultra short throw. You will pay more for that screen because it is ultra short throw, and you still won't be able to do it like this. This is why we come in here with our $60 projector, 150-inch display, fully lit environment, and show you that you don't have to spend all that money. So the option my customers have when they check out our demonstrations, to check out the projector, they go on eBay, they look it up, they find out they're only going to spend $200, maybe $180 for the projector. Lamps are pretty cheap for it. They come over here, they buy our Surface. This Surface right here for our customers is $341. And this Surface right here has beat multiple $3,000 to $5,000 certified screens with no problem. It can maintain in a fully lit environment. It's completely acoustic, sound can travel through it. And if you're not handy with a paintbrush, you're not handy with the roller, well, we do all the painting for you on this technology. You just pick out which one you want out of that selection, and we code it for you, and it's done. And the beautiful thing about it is, say at the end of the day, you're not good with building a frame. You don't have to. My screen's hanging up there without a frame. 150-inch, hanging up there on 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. That's it. Because you know why? When I put this up here, I was going to put up a frame. And I thought to myself, I don't feel like building a frame. I don't feel like painting. I want an acoustic up there. Easiest thing. For me, I have to paint it. You guys don't paint it. So for me, it's easy because all I got to do is just do, 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 do. I don't have to build jack. No saw, no wood, nothing. Just attach it to the wall and I'm done. Convenient for me. Upstairs, dedicated theater room has an absolute black acoustic screen sitting up there. I wanted a super jet black screen that can absorb all the light, give me 100% contrast level on a projector that only has a 2000 to 1. And the beautiful thing about it is I didn't want to build a frame. I didn't want to paint, especially up there in all that dark area. I didn't want to mess up my paint job up there. So I just basically sprayed it, attached it to the wood, done. That's it. So it makes it easier for the customers, much easier for the customers. On top of that, yeah, some people at the end of the day, that may be handicapped. You know, some people may have some disabilities. This makes it easier for them because sometimes some people may not be able to operate a paint roller or a paint sprayer at the end of the day, and this helps them out because you don't have to do anything. You could just drape this over one of those photo backdrops we have downstairs, and that's it. You're done. That's it. Or hook it up outside. Matter of fact, we have to do one outside. I'm going to order me another one, 100-inch for outside displays for that one. But it just shows you at the end of the day, again, the screen makes it easier for our customers. It's real 100% ambient light rejection. As you can see, nice fully lit environment. You don't spend a lot of money for expensive projector. You don't have to calibrate if you don't want to. Don't do none of that at the end of the day. Period. When people are, we got to talk about too, the calibration. Oh my goodness, we got to dig into the calibration. I hate that word calibration. I just hate it because the fact that our projectors are old. This is an old projector. When did this continue? 2014 or something. Our projectors are really freaking old. So we have an old projector sitting here on the floor. It's never ever been calibrated. We can use it in a fully lit environment, and we can produce better color on this projector next to certified screens, gray screens, silver screens, and white screens, all in one hit, without ever calibrating the projector. The reason why you're told to calibrate the projector because the screen is having issues. That's why. It's to try to fix that's already broken. That's why I don't understand when people say we can go into a whole topic about ambient light rejection technology. Why do you state the screen being ambient light when it has to be in an ambient light controlled environment? The whole purpose for the ambient light rejection technology is to use the screen in a fully lit environment, not turn your room into a bat cave at the end of the day, or basically equalize your lights so you can get the lights to setting just right so you can adjust the screen for the environment. Ah, man. It's just crazy. Well, I'm happy I got the peace of mind that I don't have to go through that craziness at the end of the day. I have customers that will contact me. I don't mind talking to them. I really don't mind talking to people and helping them out. But they will drive themselves crazy picking out a projector. What about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? I'm like, look, it's not that. You don't really have to go into all that. You're doing too much. Pick a projector. That's all you got to do. Screen does all the work. People are used to basically having the screen give a poor image, and they think they have to spend all this money for a projector to fix the screen. No, it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't have to go out and spend all this money for contrast and all this money for color and resolution and all this stuff just to make the screen look somewhat decent. You shouldn't have to go through all that. You should be to do that with a projector of an old model. And also, too, not only does this give our customer options, but for people who basically may be on low income, people who basically may not make a lot of money at the end of the day, people may not even want to spend the money at the end of the day. You have people that are frugal. I got a few people, the people I know, they're at 6 figures, and they don't spend money for jack at all, period. They don't like to spend money. But you got some people at the end of the day, like I said, maybe on a fixed income, they may be at the end of the day, want to have that same experience. And why shouldn't they be able to have that same experience? Because that's how the whole entire projection field is set up. If you got deep pockets, you can have a nice system. If you don't, then you got to deal with whatever comes out. Pretty much that's what it is. So if you don't have the money to spend, the money for the 33 or 41 WeMax or Valvo projectors that promise you a 150-inch screen, that's the only way you can get a 150-inch screen. You have to spend the money for that projector and that projector only. As you got $6,000 laying around, go pick yourself up and down and get one of those. This gives people an option that they don't have to have deep pockets. You don't have to be in a certain class to have something nice. You can go down to eBay, go pick yourself up a $250 projector, or 200, or you might get it for 150. I've seen it for 130 the other day. Go get our screens for $341. We have them at $271 for 100 inch, 120 inches. Display it and play it, and you're done. That's it. No calibration, none of that nonsense, no dark environments, none of that. Let's take a walk around the screen. This is in the morning when I get up. When I get up in the morning, this is me. Come on, turn my projector on. We got light coming from here. Most people, if they have this set up, number one, not going to have a screen this big. As there's too much light hitting the screen, they're definitely, especially with the overheads, they're definitely going to shrink the screen to 100 inches. Less of a chance of less light making contact with the screen. And then on top of that, that means the projector is going to be pushed even closer to the screen, which is going to give them less of a distance throw. We got a distance throw and an ultra short throw going on right now. A lot of people don't realize that. On top of that, they're going to put curtains here, and they're going to turn around and they're going to put curtains across here. And they're probably going to put curtains there because my window light from my kitchen makes contact also to my screen on this side too. Yeah, they're going to darken the environment. Oh, I forgot. We're setting up our 3D mapping equipment down here. People have been asking us about doing some 3D mapping applications. See, and we'll change. All right, well, guess I got a chance to talk to you about that. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do go a little bit off topic, but there's just so much stuff that you really are not seeing in these demonstrations when they display these setups. They go on and on about the projector and this, that, and the other. They go on and on about the screen, and they really don't really show you anything that you're really supposed to be seeing at the end of the day, at all, period. Now, yes, with let me find that video at the bottom. I'm gonna post the video at the bottom. If you want to check it out, it's up to you. But it's where we figured out how to make 4K look close, 720p look close enough to 4K. For those of you who doubt us on that one, well, we bought, we had a actually several projectors. We bought the PX747 ViewSonic projector, 4K, 3500 lumens. That was native 4K. And we bought a couple of, I had a 720p ViewSonic projector. Oh, no. It was ViewSonic? Yeah, it was ViewSonic projector. We put them side by side. This is the ultra short throw, and sorry, 4K versus 720p. Really didn't realize how close those things came to look. We've done 1080p, 720p, 1000 lumens. As a matter of fact, in one of the demonstrations downstairs, we had a 5000 next to a 3000. You couldn't tell one from the other. And brightness, no. But that one with that 4K next to 720p, when I saw that demonstration, I turned around and said, you know what? I'm not buying 4K no more. We're done. Because these black screens give the enhancement for 720p to look absolutely amazing. But I'm going to post the links down at the bottom. These are tests we did way back on native 4K versus 720p. This is why I don't buy 4K projectors. Because the screens we have look that amazing. A 1080p on this screen looks absolutely incredible. For the money that people spend on a $3,000 or $4,000, I spend $500 for a projector, and it looks absolutely insane. Have you seen the dedicated theater room setup with the Chrissy LW505 at 5,000 lumens? $500 projector. That thing looks absolutely amazing. We go on forum sites all the time with it, and people swear we have this expensive machine sitting behind us. Like, no, that's an outdated Christie. They've been discontinued in 2012. Most of these machines end up overseas or in a landfill. They're that old. Or they strip them down for parts. All right, well, we're done here. Got a chance to come and explain a few things to you. Also, too, like I said, I like to explain things and show you at the same time. It'd be definitely pointless if I'm sitting behind a computer explaining things to you. I like to show you things on a computer too. We're talking about other things. Well, not other things, but I'm not showing you it's actually happening. If I was to explain to you about ultra short throws and 150-inch screens, I have to have a 150-inch screen. I have to have an ultra short throw to show you this as I'm talking to you about it, so you can see the experience as well as me explaining to you the industry and what's going on in the demonstration. It's much easier to do it that way. Seeing is believing. You know what I mean? All right. Well, let's see. Man, I just opened up a whole entire Easter egg of so many things to talk about. And yes, we've been to that with the ambient light, people cheating in the ambient light demonstrations and Calibrating. Oh, we definitely got to talk about calibrating. I'm in forum sites all the time talking about calibrating. People why you calibrate? Why you calibrate? Okay, with that being said, again, save thousands, not hundreds. And keep in mind, and I can't express this enough, and I do not care if the other individual gets upset by this, but you know already that using a projector of that caliber, what you display on your screen is what your customer has to buy in order to get the exact same image. Now, for some people may say, oh, that's not true. What freaking alternate universe do you dwell in at the end of the day? Because this is how things work in reality. The projector we're using on the floor, see the image we have here, and the fully lit environment on a 150-inch screen being on display. If you notice, there's no tanness, no discoloration. It's sharp from corner to corner. This is what I'm talking about, what you need for a display. In order for my customers to get this same image, they would need that projector or better, right? So what would that projector cost my customers? Most, 250 bucks. That's it. Now, if you're watching a demonstration where someone's using a $50,000 Sony Ultra Short, though 10,000 lumen laser projector, in order for you to get that image, you're going to have to spend $50,000 or more. There's no way in the world you're going to go out there and say, I'm going to get myself a 1080p projector, or I'm going to get the PX747, and I'm going to get the same image as a $10,000 or for $50,000 Sony table. You seen the huge, massive table projectors? I'm going to get the same image. Never going to happen. If that's the case, what is the point of selling that projector when you can do the same thing with a projector that costs far less? The only way you're going to be able to pick up that exact same image unless you have that exact same projector or higher. So at the end of the day, you're not saving people hundreds, you're costing them more money. Now, we're not going to go into the whole shelf paint. We know the whole story behind that. We don't need to bring that back up. But we do know for a fact that if you're using an expensive unit in your demonstration, that's what your customer is going to have to pay for. This is why, looking back on the demonstrations of the customers, none of them match your demonstrations because they don't have the exact same projector. They weren't getting the same image quality. Now, our customers, their demonstrations are better than ours because their projectors are better than ours. Yeah, much better than our projectors. Much better. So that's why I tell people you're not saving any money. And at that, even with that machine that you're going to have to spend that money for, you still can't do what we're doing right now. You're not going to be on 150 inches. You're not going to be in a fully lit environment. And your color is going to wash out like crazy. Remember the demonstration yesterday with just simply showing you red and that's it on a gray screen? There you go. So I got to go feed my birds. But yeah, I explain to people, don't get ooh and awe when you watch a demonstration. Ask about the projector. What are they using in the demonstration? This is why when I used to go down, when Circuit City used to be around, and oh man, I remember Silos. That's way back in the day. But anyway, I remember going into these booths and they would have these setups. They would have Broncos and Sharps and all that way back. And they would have them on the CRTs and they would have them set up and everything. And the first thing you would ask is basically, CRTs, you can mount a CRT. You know that? That's a big projector to freaking mount. I've seen somebody on YouTube video mount a CRT projector. Whew. Man, you really seriously are going to have to rip out your ceiling and put reinforced rails and hang that up because you do not want that coming down on top of you. But anyway, usually when I went to go to some of these booths, they would have the projector sitting in the back and people would come in and sit down and they would be, they pretty much, their mind would be occupied by looking at the environment. You got the nice movie chairs, you got the lighting on the walls and with the posters and all the different forms of decorations they have in there, and you sit down in these nice comfortable seats and the salesperson comes over and you see the projector and the screen come on and you're just freaking blown away by the whole freaking movie experience of having this actually in your house every single day for yourself. That's what people get overwhelmed with. But they don't realize that usually people like me that come into those booths and sit down, we've been there, done that, we're sitting there looking around like, we can price everything in the room. We know exactly because we deal in that field. But we're more concerned about what is sitting behind us. What kind of machine are they using? So first thing I'll ask is, hey, what you got in the back? What you using? What kind of projector you running back there? And they'll tell us it'll be some freaking crazy, insane, expensive projector. And I go, okay, so let me ask you a question. I got myself a 1080p at home. Am I going to get the same picture quality off that projector because of that screen? And the first one will say, well, you know, if you want to use, you know, this particular screen, you want to make sure you're going to optimize your viewing pleasure. So what you want to do is you want to actually get this particular model, which is a very good kind. It's going to give you, they're going to tell you all these freaking crazy bells and whistles and blah, 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 blah. It's a good salesperson, or not a good salesperson, they're keeping you off the topic. And then they're going to tell you this is the best choice to get, and show you different models and stuff like that. But the one you have will work, but it's not going to give you the quality that you actually need. Yeah. This is why we don't use expensive projectors in our demonstrations, because what you see is what you're going to have to pay for in order to get that particular image to pull. So you don't save people hundreds. They have to end up spending thousands just in order to pick up an image that is faintly picking up an image in a dark environment and can produce in a well lit. All right, let me see. We got to do one. When I leave from here, we're going to get one just short and sweet for you to research. You can take our video and go look around, called Match Our Demonstration. That's what the next video is going to be. So go around and try to find someone to match the demonstration. Do your research. See how many ultra short throws sit in the dark. All that money spent just to sit in the dark and try to figure out where your coffee table's at. All right, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. I am going to, oh, should I get that contractor right up? My goodness, man, get that done. All right, I got to feed my birds. Get this contract done up real quick, agreement contract, and I got to do some cleaning in the house a little bit, and we'll be back on, and I'm going to do a video called Match Our Demonstration, where we're going to show off our screen with contrast, colors, all that other nice stuff, and we want people to see if they can find any ultra short throw setup that has a 150-inch screen in a fully lit environment. And yes, we want to see the angle gain, everything. We don't want to see images of screens, cameras all up on top of the screen. We want to see that distance. We want to see that display. That's what we want to see. We want to see people showing off like this. We don't want people sitting right up on top of the screen. We don't want that. You're too close to the screen. You got to be farther away so people can see how the environment affects the screen. We want to see angle gains pull up like this with the light making contact. This is what we want to see. So do your research. You base it off us. And that way you get a product that works. If they're not showing you this at the end of the day, then it's not worth your time and it's not worth your money. All right, with that being said, gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.